My name is Tom Payne. I'm the author of The Template of Time, How Time Patterns Reveal the Destiny of Nations. What I'd like to do during this session is to introduce you to the website and to go over some forecasts of future events that the template is predicting. First of all, let's look at the website. And if you haven't done so, I highly recommend looking at the first video that I did introducing the template prior to this one, because it will help you to understand the sequences of events that we're going to be discussing. You look at the website, you can see that when we go to the home page, it'll be difficult for you to see in this video, but there is a Twitter feed. I invite you to follow me on Twitter and also to follow my blog. You can access the introductory video by clicking on this link. You can access buying different versions of the book, either the paperback version or the ebook version. I'd like to also mention that on the ebook version, if you're an Amazon Prime member, it's free. It's offered through their lending library, so that may be an interesting option for you. Finally, as you go down this, you can see that it's going into the template to greater degrees and explains the program. Chapter 1, up here in this navigation bar, also describes how the template works. It gives an understanding of this sequence in great detail. Forecast, that's what we're going to be going on next. If you're in the radio business and you do broadcasting and you're producing a show, the media page has information that would be of interest to you. The Through the Wilderness tab, that's about another book that was resulting from my research into theology and also into the template structure. And it shows how our spiritual journey is mapped out by the 7 festivals that were celebrated or recorded in the Pentateuch, in the books of Moses. So our spiritual journey begins with Passover, the sacrificial lamb whose blood marking the doorpost keeps the spirit of the angel of death away from us. Our spiritual journey begins with Passover. It goes in a new direction on the 4th festival, which is Pentecost, and it achieves its culmination in the final harvest festival of Ingathering or Tabernacles. Now, let's go to the forecasts. By clicking on the forecast page, you'll be confronted with a bunch of different forecasts that the template is making. One is about China. Based on the template, we are going to have some sort of breakthrough economic agreement with China this year, which is almost over, or next. And that's based on the following. There are 3 dates that form the following structure. 1974, around that date, movements in history are initiated. Around 2006, movements in history move in a new direction. Around 2010, those new directions grow and achieve their culmination. What happened with the U.S. and China is following. In 1972, we had the historic opening of relations with China with Nixon's visit. 2006, the New Direction phase. The Bush administration establishes the Strategic Economic Agreement, wherein top officials, political officials from both nations, must get together twice a year to discuss ways where we can further our common interests. Now, nothing's happened from this agreement. It started off in a typical New Direction fashion of seeming insignificant and like a waste of time. But according to the template, it's not. It's unfolding on this pattern. Therefore, we can anticipate a breakthrough economic agreement with China around the year 2011-2012, around the year 2010, which those years are. What might it include? Well, I think a couple of things. One, a revaluation of their currency, which would have enormous impact on China and the U.S. That would probably be a centerpiece of it, but exactly what the details are, I can't be absolutely certain. But one thing I'm very confident in is that there's going to be some sort of change to our relationship with Taiwan. And the reason for that is there's a sequence that begins in 78 that then goes in a new direction around the year 2010. And what happened in 78 or around that year? Well, in 79, we broke off diplomatic relations with Taiwan and established them with China. And we're still friendly and allies with Taiwan, but there are indications that that relationship is changing. For example, the Obama administration did not sell them the advanced fighter jets that they wanted, and that China was adamantly opposed to us doing so. And this, to me, signals that, along with the template, that it's likely that our relationship with Taiwan will go through another change, distancing ourselves further from them, and probably standing out of the way between them and China, because the template suggests that those two nations will definitely become one nation before the year 2030. Let's look at another forecast. This one is not one I'm happy about, but if it comes, it helps to know things in advance and be prepared for them. It looks like we're headed for a second recession, and it will be caused by an oil shock. And what am I basing this on? Well, around that 1974 date, you had the Arab oil embargo of 73, and it sent the United States into a steep recession. Then 1978, you have another sequence of events that begins around there. In 1979, Khomeini comes into power, and there is another disruption of the oil supply leading to another recession. These two sequences converge on the year 2010, and it points to another oil shock occurring, causing yet another recession. And you think about it, the 73 one, did it move in a new direction around the year 2006? Well, there was a definite oil shock that affected the U.S., and that was when oil shot up to about $150 a barrel around the year 2008. I think I have those numbers correct. It suggests then that the price of oil could be much higher than that, and that would, of course, have a devastating impact on the global economy. Again, I pray that many of these things are not true, but I'm just showing that this is what history suggests as it unfolds on the template. Let's look at why that oil shock may occur. Well, I think it's because Israel is going to be bombing the Iranian nuclear facilities, and I predicted this over a year ago when I published the first edition of my book. You have two sequences, the 1974 sequence and the 1978 sequence. They both involve Israel bombing a Muslim nation's nuclear facilities, and they both converge on the year 2010. Israel experienced the Yom Kippur War in 73, around that 74 date. They were invaded by Syria and Egypt, and a large contingent of Iraqi forces as well, which is kind of interesting. Then you have, around the 2006 New Direction date, things change. Israel invades Syria, and they bomb their nuclear facilities. Well, Syria's ally is Iran, and you tend to see these things, these new directions growing in significance. And so it suggests that around the year 2010, which would be 2011, 2012, Israel will be bombing Iran's nuclear facilities. That one's very clear. In fact, there's a Jerusalem-based group that's predicting that it will occur this month or next. The template does not get that specific. It's typically within a year or two, the projections are, but it's definitely projecting that. Anyway, I encourage you to go to the website, check out the forecast, check out Chapter 1, get to know the template, look at my blog. I think you'll find it interesting, and I hope you enjoy studying the Template of Time, because it reveals the destiny of nations. Where is this world headed? The Template of Time offers unique insights into the answering of that question. Thank you.